If there's anything I've noticed exploding in popularity since the beginning of this decade, it's been gambling and roguelikes. You could play a round of cards with your friends, or go to the casino, or bet on horses, or sports bet from your phones, or do a 10-pull in a gacha game, or even open Pokemon card packs. Whatever form of gambling it is, chances are it's gotten more elaborate and more popular in the past 5 years. More insidious, too. It's harder to avoid gambling and it's not getting any easier to win. The addiction is the point. To companies, human buyers are finite, but human emotion is infinite, so getting 100 people to play your slot machine 1,000 times is more valuable to them than getting 1,000 people to play their slot machine once. This is the point of roguelikes as well. It's almost a new experience every time, and there's no true end, so you can spend hours playing. Never stop playing. Do another drop from the battle bus. Try to escape hell one more time. Can you beat the night boss with your 2 friends? What about 36 starring the Spiral Abyss? You'll sink 60 hours a week on these games, all while convincing nearby friends to play as well. The ideal game this day and age does its best to monopolize your time, not just be worth your time.
There's an honest discussion to be had about the quality of gaming and life itself going down as companies seek to suck us dry of all our money and time. However, I am not here to discuss any of that. I am here to talk about Balatro. And before you tell me angrily in the comments I'm saying Balatro wrong, look it up. I'm either etymologically correct or semantically not incorrect according to the developer, so I win, shut up, and
subscribe.
1, 2. Kept you waiting, huh?
I am a little shocked it took this long to make gambling a full-fledged roguelike. Deck building roguelikes are not a new phenomenon, but Balatro is a whole different beast. Texas Hold'em. Players compete to assemble the best 5-card hand each round, using the 5 cards dealt face up in the middle of the table combined with their own 2 secret cards dealt to them face down. Take turns around the table betting chips on your hand being better than everyone else's, or bluffing on a hand with completely nothing and scaring people into giving you money. There's a lot of strategy in the game itself, but the main fun of the game in my opinion is the people you play it with. Who looks like what when they're lying, or who's really good at bluffing, or who only bets big on a bluff in an effort to big dog you. The real poker success stories come from identifying the different personalities sitting around you and using their body language to determine the best path to success. This view of Texas Hold'em makes the idea of a single-player poker game look really boring, which you would think, if not for Balatro's perfect and admittedly impossible to summarize gameplay loop. Here goes nothing. In Texas Hold'em, there's a hierarchy of 5-card hands which determines who wins each round and whose order is directly related to their rarity. High card is nothing, pair is 2 of a kind, 2 pairs is 2 pairs, then 3 of a kind, then straight is 5 cards in a row, then flush being 5 of the same suit, then full house being 3 of a kind plus 2 of a kind, then 4 of a kind, finished off by straight flush being all 5 cards all of the same suit. The highest of which being a royal flush, consisting of a 10 jack queen king ace all of the same suit. Do you follow? Everybody knows how to play poker already, Danny. Just finish the video. Balatro uses this hierarchy and assigns these hands chip values and base chip multipliers. For 8 rounds, known in-game as antes, you must play high enough scoring hands to reach 3 chip thresholds, known in-game as the small blind, big blind, and boss blind. This is all poker slang if you haven't caught on already. Each boss blind marks the end of the ante and has a special effect, like only allowing you to play one hand, or disabling face cards, or being the This is the basic structure of Balatro. Keen-eyed viewers may have noticed, wow, the chips required for each blind scales quite fast. How are you, the player, supposed to keep up with it? Well, that's the fun part. Second most important part of Texas Hold'em is the cards. The most important part is money. If you successfully beat a blind, you'll earn cash based on how many remaining hands you had, your interest, and what type of blind it was. You can spend cash at the shop to buy all sorts of things. Vouchers can be redeemed to add an effect to the rest of your game, stacking with other vouchers. The shop's voucher is refreshed each ante. Spectral cards are found in rare packs, which usually drastically alter your game state, like for example deleting 5 cards from your deck in exchange for $20, a huge amount of money in Balatro terms. Planet cards upgrade the base values of a certain hand. Do you find yourself running mostly flush in a round? Maybe purchase the Jupiter card to give yourself more chips and a higher multiplier. Tarot cards cause a unique effect based on their major arcana. For some examples, the Hermit can double your current money, the Death Tarot can turn one of your cards into a copy of another one of your cards, and the Hanged Man removes 2 cards from your deck. Tarot cards play an important role in shaping your deck to fit exactly the build you're looking for, something you will decide on run by run when you figure out what jokers you get. Jokers are the final piece of Balatro's fun puzzle. There are 150 unique Joker cards you can stumble across in the shop, each one of them with their own unique effect on your hand size, number of hands, number of discards, finances, chip values, or multiplier, or a combination of all of those. These buffs range from common to incredibly specific, weak to ridiculously strong. There's so much personality to each Joker. Gross Michelle, for example, gives you plus 15 mult, but has a 1 in 6 chance to die at the end of each blind. However, if you let it die, it gives you the chance to find Cavendish, a guaranteed ×3 mult on every hand. The shop takes our standard poker rule set and turns it into insanity. Remember our hand pyramid? Well, in Balatro, I'm usually trying to use tarot cards to activate Flush 5, which is a 5 of a kind, all of the same suit, stronger than every other previous normal hand. Or sometimes I'm actually looking for a high card hand, since I've leveled up to level 20 with an early burnt Joker, and I'm abusing retrigger effects with the Mime and LeBron. Also, I got lucky enough to find a blueprint and brainstorm to further my point scoring. Take an ectoplasm from Spectral Pack later in the game to buy a Showman or Invisible Joker for the chance of duplicating one of my Jokers to make it even better. This is before you add Kurt Angle to the mix. When in your life have you seen someone win a billion chips at the poker table? Have you ever even been to the casino before? I haven't. The scenario I described would be the real-life poker equivalent of being dealt a royal flush. It doesn't happen too often, and if you don't win a lot of money, consider yourself stupid. Thankfully, with Balatro's vast number of niche but viable Jokers, you'll have runs which emulate the feeling of winning with 2-7 offsuit through careful bluffing and strategy, just as often as you win with a lucky full house. This is, in essence, the place where roguelikes and gambling intersect, having to sometimes push through bad luck to find success. But in Balatro, you can't fold, which makes it all the more thrilling if you manage to squeak out a win. A few of my favorite builds include Lucky Cat Hack, which abuses retriggers to give more chances for activating a lucky card, using the Vampire and Midas Mask to farm Infinite Multiplier, and a build I like to call Jacking Off, where you turn your whole deck into jacks to take advantage of Hit the Road. There's plenty of other combinations to come up with, so you will likely never feel like each run is the exact same. So far, Balatro sounds like a $5 mobile game you play during lunch break at your 9 to 5, which honestly, it is. What sets it apart from other arcade games is an endless mode which actually respects your time. After beating Ante 8, you can choose to opt into endless mode, but it is not for the faint of heart. Blinds scale ridiculously fast, so a weaker build only scoring a few million won't cut it after 3 antes. This also means successfully piloting a high-scoring build feels more satisfying. Just like real gambling, the game makes you feel good for hitting a high score, but unlike real gambling, there's no financial punishment for losing. This endless incentive pairs well with the game's completionist structure. You only start out with a pool of Jokers and unlock the rest by doing certain things in-game, like turning your whole deck into hearts or discarding a royal flush. Even further, there's 15 different decks to choose from which have drastic effects on the gameplay loop alongside 8 different stakes for ramping difficulty. The game makes subtle gestures to entice you into completing everything, like making certain decks unlockable for beating certain stakes, making every deck unlock stakes separately, or biggest of all, tracking which Jokers you use to beat which stake, so dedicated completionists can chase filling out the entire Joker library with gold stickers. Finally, no good casino is complete without atmosphere, which Balatro has in spades, pun intended. An excellent CRT-esque art style, delicious sound design, and a soundtrack of one dynamic looping synth track keeping you positively hypnotized during play sessions, mimicking the real-life experience of getting trapped in a casino by dopamine hits and maximum stimuli. In summary, Balatro may be the single most addicting video game I've played in my entire life. At the same time, it doesn't take advantage of me. While more and more games attempt to squeeze a battle pass, a loot box, an overcharged cosmetic, a limited 5-star banner character, all of my remaining free time, or all of the above out of me and my wallet, Balatro instead takes 15 of my hard-earned dollars, gives me 50 plus incredibly fun hours of gameplay, and calls it square. I love and respect this method of delivery. Even if it's embarrassing to admit to my friends and family, I stay up late at night playing a gambling video game. I give Balatro a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 out of 10, because it's probably one of the best games I've ever played, but it makes me a bit more of a degenerate for saying so. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.